Hello, how are you? My name's Paul, and you've logged into my little YouTube channel called Come As You Are. And it's a place where I share stories about different experiences I've had in the music business over my working life. It's a period of about 40 years. And this one, I'll tell you, is I think the third installment. And it's about a time when I was a country music salesman in South Africa, meaning that the customers that I had were all over 100 kilometers from Johannesburg. And there's one particular area that I called on. I used to work on a 4-week cycle. And I had been going for about a month. And I went into this town called Welkom. And it was a big, very big mining town. Lots of customers. And Welkom was unique because the customers were 95% Greek. And they belonged to a business collective called the Hellenic Business Association. And nothing moved in Welkom without their say-so. So anyway, I found this dealer that I hadn't called on before. And I'll say up front, I like the Greeks. I love them. I'm an honorary Greek myself. I have my best friend in the world is a Greek girl. A Latina. Love you. And so I walk into this guy's shop. He's a bit surly. And I'm trying to be friendly and, you know, the new rep and everything. He said, "Where are you from?" I said, "I'm from True Tone." And it was like I swore at his mother or something. He flew into a rage. I thought, shit, what did I say? "You bloody bastard. I'm going to kill you, you bloody bastard." I thought, oh, Jesus. I said, "What's the problem, man?" He said, "You're True Tone." I said, "Yes." And he hauls out this box of records from behind the counter. Big box. It's probably about 500 singles in the box. He says, "Look at this." I said, "Well, what's the problem, you know?" He said, "Yeah, bloody bastard True Tone come before you." Anyway, what had happened was the guy who worked that area before me had found this shop and sussed that the guy behind the counter knew nothing about music. And he saw a payday. So he loaded him up with stock that he knew wasn't going to sell. Did the order, buggered off and never came back and left this guy with all this dead stock. So he said to me, "You're going to take it back." I said, "Look, it doesn't quite work like that, okay?" "Yeah, it works like that." I said, No, wait. What happens is you give me an order, and then based on the size of your order, I'll decide how many I'll take back. I'll give you a credit and we'll sort it out, but it'll take a while. But I'm not just taking the stock back. He said, You're a bloody thief, just like the other bastard." And I said, "Hey, man, swearing at me is not going to help." So he said, "Maybe this will help." And he reached behind him and he grabbed a toaster. Because it was like he sold electrical goods. Grabs his toaster and throws it at me. I'm like, Jesus, hang on a sec. I said, "Hey, man, you know, cool it." "Nah, fuck you, cool it." And he picked up something else. He threw that at me too. I thought, no, I'm leaving this shop. Forget this. I'm not dealing with this shit. So I picked up my bag and I saw walking out the shop. And the next thing, this iron goes flying past my head. Lands on the pavement outside the shop. I thought, no, this This I'm not dealing with. So I went out to the pavement, I grabbed the iron, and I threw it back into the shop. Just missed his head, and it flew into the glass display cabinet behind him and shattered it. And then it started a barrage of, of missiles. Anything he could lay his hands on inside the shop, he started throwing at me. And as soon as he threw it, I picked it up and I threw it straight back in, swearing and screaming at each other. I'm going to kill you, you bloody bastard. I said, fuck you, you stupid Greek. Come out here, I'll give you a hiding. Anyway, got in my car. I drove off. Go to the next shop, also owned by Greek. I said to him, hi, I'm Paul, I'm from True Tone. He said, I'm sorry, but I can't give you an order. I mean, what, you don't even know me? He said, I can't give you an order. All right, so I got my car, went to the next shop, same thing. By the time I got to the fourth shop and I hadn't got an order, I thought, oh, there's something up here. So I drove into the town where there was another Greek guy, but his clientele was all white customers. He was a very nice guy. His name was also Paul. And as I walked in, he just laughed. He just shook his head. He said, I see you met Costa. I said, is that mad dude from down the road? He said, yeah, it is. He said, but unfortunately, mate, he's the chairman of the Hellenic Businessmen's Association. And as soon as you left the shop, he found everybody and told them not to buy from you. I said, well, what do I do? He said, look, unless you make good with him, you might as well leave this town. You'll never get an order out of anybody. So I drove back, walked in, glass and shit all over the shop. I said to him, look, we got off on a bad foot. I said, I'll tell you what I'll do. Give me your stock. I'll write you up a credit. I'll drive back to Joburg now. It was about 200 Ks. And I'll get my boss to pass you a credit. I'll explain to him what happened. So that kind of pacified him a bit. I put the box in the boot and I drove back to Joburg. I went into my boss and I explained, and he went, for God's sake. He said, just pass the credit. So I did. And I phoned Costa. I said to him, mate, I've just passed the credit for your stock. He went, oh, really? I went, yes. I said, look, sorry we got off on the wrong foot and everything, but it's sorted out. Hey, thanks a lot. And he put the phone down. So I went into the salesman's room and I was doing some paperwork and I got some samples out for the next week and stuff. And I was getting ready to go back down to Valcom to finish off the route. And on the way out, I thought I'll just pop into the sales girls and see if they've got any orders for me. And I walked in and there were 7 girls on the phones. And they were all on the phone, writing furiously. So I went to the girl who was the one in charge of the sales desk, and I said to her, listen, have we got any orders for Valcom come through? She said, man, I don't know what's happened. She said the phones were quiet. She said, but like literally in the last 5 minutes, the phones have lit up and every single call is from Valcom. I went, you kidding? She went, yeah. I said, well, that must be because of Costa. And I told her what happened. She said, well, that's what happened. So to cut a long story short, they wrote so much business in the hour that I was standing around there that I could actually take the day off. So I went back home. I had a pinball machine in my flat those days. Played pinball for the afternoon, got a takeaway, had a bit of a joint and listened to some music, and hit the road the next day and went back to Valcom. Valcom with the Greeks. Anyway, stay tuned. I'll be doing these on a weekly basis. Hope you like it. And if you don't, let me know. If you do, let me know. Until next time.